on display. The EVP show keeps the drama in play. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Where the heroes rise and the legends grow. CJP brings the shots, you know. The EVP show is out of control.
What's going on, everyone? It's the EVP back on the EVP show, and it is a late edition. I did a little bit of a scheduling late. I thought NXT was going to go a little later than expected, but we are live on the EVP show for the NXT Heatwave Recap. Hope you guys have had a really great weekend. A lot of wrestling going on today. AEW obviously had a pay-per-view PLE as well earlier today, and then NXT Heatwave tonight. Going to sleep soon. So good night. Group chats. Have a great streamer. Much love, Billy. Good night. Be sleep well. Yeah, so we are live. We're live on my Facebook. We are live on the EVP Show YouTube page, and we are live on my X account. So hello to everyone that's listening on my Facebook, on my X, or on my YouTube channel. It's good to be back. I did take Friday off. Had some stuff going on. Did not get to hit the SmackDown recap, so I do apologize for that, but it's okay because I got me a little breather in and I am ready to go. So obviously we had the NXT pre-show come on around 6 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Central. We saw Sam Roberts and Megan Morant. Not a whole lot going on in the pre-show really to really talk about. They just kind of dissected every match. Sam Roberts does and Megan both do a really fine job on his YouTube show, and then they have a show they do a Raw recap on that's really good. So, I mean, the pre-show was just kind of what it was. It was the pre-show, but those two dolls always do a phenomenal job. So NXT Heatwave is coming live. They are live from Loyola, Massachusetts, which is not too far from Boston. So yeah, really good wrestling area. The commentator tonight was Vic Joseph and Booker T. Normally for NXT on the weekly episode, you'll see Corey Graves, but he was already in Lyon, France. Getting prepared for Raw tomorrow, which will be live at 3 p.m. Eastern on Netflix. So, yeah, these early start times are definitely throwing things off a little bit. Having to plan these streams around WWE being overseas while they're leading up to Clash in Paris. Obviously, we have Raw tomorrow at 3 p.m. And then SmackDown Friday is also going to be coming up at an earlier time as well, as they're getting ready for the last WWE PLE to appear live on Peacock. Because it was announced that starting in September, not WrestleMania, that WWE was going to be streaming live on the ESPN DTC platform, direct consumer service platform for WrestlePalooza on September the 20th from Indianapolis, Indiana. So yeah, hopefully you guys got all of that sorted out. If you guys have any questions about how to get things switched over, you can shoot me a DM or put it in the comment, and I will try to get to you, get to the comment. It's not too difficult. I just went ahead and got the bundle. I got the Disney Plus and the Hulu with the ESPN Unlimited. I got it without ads because I hate ads. And I think it was like 38 or something like that for 12 months. So that pretty much covers you get Disney Plus and Hulu, and you get all the different streaming services from ESPN, and that will include the WWE PLEs. So yeah, obviously you can just purchase the ESPN DTC app or service by itself without the bundle, and you're still going to pay $29.99. So it's starting to get a little pricey to watch professional wrestling now, but I kind of figured that it was only a matter of time. So obviously, like I said, we have Big Joseph and Booker T calling the action tonight. Corey Graves is already in Leon, preparing for Raw tomorrow. We have Mike Rome as the ring announcer, and then our backstage reporters are Sarah Schreiber and Kelly Kincaid. So to start off the show, we see the young OG, Javon Evans, walking into the arena, and you can hear Vic Joseph say is he can become the Javon, if he won tonight, could become the youngest NXT champion ever. He's super young, super great. That was a fantastic match. Um, Didn't really like the ending too much of it, but the match was phenomenal. Obafemi's just out of this world good, so I don't know. I don't know how much longer he can go. I know he's about 236 days, something like that. I know that Brian Breaker was a day short of a year as the NXT Men's Champion. So another 100 plus days for Oba to catch Brian Breaker. Willie, I highly doubt it, but we'll see. I mean, we saw. I'll talk about it when we get to the end of the main event, but obviously, I think it's going to be a difficult road ahead for if they're going to be doing this draft on ESPN, like they're speculating and talking about. Like for me, it's hard to see Obafemi not passing the torch to a Javon or a Ricky Saints or somebody like that and coming up to the main roster. So yeah, we'll see though. So we saw Javon walking up. We also saw the ruler, Obafemi, and Vic Joseph said he is approaching 250 days as your NXT champion, as I just stated before. We also see the All Ego Ethan Page and Chelsea Green walking in with Piper Niven and Alba Fire, Secret Harvest. I love them being or Chelsea being involved in this angle. I think it was really good. I think it was good for Tavion. I think it was good for Tyra May Steele. Obviously our first NXT premium live event. So yeah, hats off to Chelsea Green for all the traveling back and forth. She was actually I don't remember where they were at Friday, but she was overseas and she had to travel back over there from SmackDown because obviously she was at ringside when Piper Niven beat Charlotte Flair Friday, which I'm still trying to figure out how that happened. But yeah, it's good. It's good to see them. When we get to that match, like there were some things about the match I enjoyed. But so we also see Tavion Height and Tyra May Steele, which is they're called the American team, and Chelsea and Ethan are the Canadian team. We see the Juggernaut herself, Jordan Grace, walking in, and also the Glamour Blake Monroe. And then they show a clip of Undertaker telling Javon to keep going after the biggest dog in the yard. So, like, going into this match, like, it just kind of felt like maybe Oba was going to be passing that torch because they keep talking about, the motivation behind Javon still going after Obafemi is, the Undertaker telling him just to keep going, keep coming after that title. And Javon, I feel like ready. So they definitely keep talking about that. So we'll see where they go at. I mean, maybe Oba does hold it for a while longer and they do this long drawn out story with Javon. I don't know. we'll see. We'll see what happens tonight. So, first match on the card for tonight, and probably one of my favorites on the card, was the women's triple threat, with the winner becoming the number one contender for JC Jane's NXT Women's Championship, and that is Jada Parker versus Lola Vice versus Kalani Jordan. Jada Parker came out first, and then we saw Kalani Jordan come out, and they made mention that her family or her parents or something was ringside. Normally, that's not a good sign for that person winning in WWE for sure. And then we saw Lola Weiss, which coming in, like I kind of talked about it Tuesday on the NXT recap. I really felt like Lola has been getting that push. She's had the AAA exposure. She done phenomenal over there. So it just kind of felt like, and I brought up, before the stream, like before the pay-per-view happened, I said that on a prediction show, I said I thought that Lash Legend may get involved because it just seemed like Lash Legend and Jada Parker had unfinished business. And obviously she didn't get involved, but we would see Lash Legend later on after that match in an altercation with Jada Parker. So definitely still some meat on the bone there for them too. Looking forward to that. So, like I said, Kalani Jordan family was in attendance. This match was phenomenal. It started off Kalani and knocked Jada Parker out of the ring. And Kalani and Lola were kind of in a stalemate, going back and forth, kind of showing off, showcasing their moves back and forth. Then Jada came back into the ring. She did. She hit a body slam on Lola Vice, and it also on top of Kalani Jordan. She hit Lola with a double headbutt. Jada is obviously still in control. She stacked Lola on top of Kalani on the ropes and did a move, which is great. And then we saw Jada Parker house stepping over Kalani and Jordan and Lola Vice. Jada's great. All three of these ladies is phenomenal. It's a lot of back and forth action. She So Kalani hits a Hurricane Rana outside to Jada Parker, and then hits the DDT to Lola Vice for a 2 count. Lola's in control. She hits the blockbuster on her with another close pinfall there. Just a lot of back and forth that they were but all three just showcasing their top moves. Jada and Kalani was up top. Lola hit went up under the bottom of them with a double power bomb off the top rope. That was phenomenal. Jada, and I don't know why I keep saying Jade, not Jade Cargill, Jada Parker. She ended up hitting a thorn buster on Kalani. And then it was on top of Lola as well. So it was a very great match. Obviously, the ending, we saw Kalani go up to the top, and Lola kind of pushed her out over the top rope. And then she rolls Jada Parker up for the 1-2-3 win. And we have our new number one contender. And I am 1-0 on the night with my predictions. Lola Vice is the new number one contender for JC Jane's women's NXT title, and it is made official later in the evening that Lola Vice would face she would face Jada Parker at the next PLE in September. So yeah, they have a lot of stuff coming up in the fall, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Lola and JC Jane at the next PLE. I think it's well, I think we're probably going to see a title change. It makes the most sense to have to put the title on a face for a while. JC's been champion for a little while. She shocked the world by taking it off Stephanie Bacour. And I knew the title needed to go. It needs to go back on a face because I think their long-term plan is to put that title on Blake Monroe, and a Blake Monroe JC Jane match just doesn't make any sense at this point with both of them being heels. Obviously, we need a face champion for a little while. Lola's getting that push, so hopefully she gets that moment at the next PLE in September because it is official. And hopefully she can get the win and get that moment and hold the title for a few months, and then hopefully they just don't immediately throw it on Blake Monroe. Hopefully Lola has it for a couple of months. If she doesn't get called up, I don't know. We'll see. Is she going to be the one to beat JC Jane? I think it's the right move. Lola Vice, it's time for her to. She had that championship match last year against Roxanne Perez and fell short. So I think it's time for WWE and NXT to finish off what they've already started with Lola Vice. So I was very impressed with that matchup. I gave it about a 4.5 out of 5. It's really good stuff. And she will move on to face JC Jane the next PLE for the Women's NXT Championship. So next we see a bunch of commercials on Evolve and Clash and Paris. And then they're talking about so then we see the Cullen in the back, and they're talking about the North American title and how that it's had a brain fart. Just basically talking about how that she thought that she was a disappointment because she couldn't get the job done, and they basically reassured her that it was not a disappointment. They said that she made them proud, and they said that the truth will come to light. And Izzy Dame told her that she wants her to win on her own merit. So yeah, it looks like we got a big storyline going there with the Cullen. Maybe something to do with that NXT North American Women's Championship, which is currently held by Sol Ruka. Also, the WWE / NXT Women's Speed Champion as well. So they also said that they're calling strong. And so Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley are going to take on Ren Sinclair Tuesday night in a mystery, or they said whoever she can find. So I'm not 100% sure who Ren Sinclair will be digging up to find in that match. Maybe I don't know. I really have no idea who Ren Sinclair is going to get for a partner, but that match will be happening live on NXT Tuesday night. It will be Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley going up against Ren Sinclair and a mystery partner. So after that, we see the Juggernaut, Jordan. She's warming up in the back. So we get to match number 2 of the night, and it is for the men's NXT Tag Team Championships, and it is going to be Hank and Tank, who has been the NXT Tag Champions for 126 days. They defeated Fraxium 126 days ago to become the men NXT Tag Champions. So a little over 4 months. Hank and Tank's been champions. I like them. I did predict it how this match was going to end. I think that, if, like I said, if there is a draft coming up on ESPN, that they got to fix the tag division on Raw. So we need some tag teams. I don't know if Hank and Tank are going up, but I don't know how much more they're going to be able to do. I think that they are working this angle now with Dark State, to where Dark State is going to be this super dominant faction, taking over NXT. So yeah, I think that's the way they're going here. But we have Lennox and Osiris from Dark State tonight taking on Hank and Tank. Basically, Hank and Tank they're taking it to Lennox. And then Osiris comes in and he starts pounding away on the outside on Hank. The thing about Dark State is they have two other members out there, sort of similar to the White Six. You have Cutler James, former LFG star, out there, as well as the other member of Dark State. So this match was really good. For me, it wasn't the best match of the night, but it was a really good match. A lot of stuff happened in this match. A lot of big moves. Hank and Tank look like they're gonna they come back with authority. They hit the running clothesline. They do end up hitting their finishing move on Dark State, but it is broken up, and Dark State ends up getting involved on the outside, and ultimately Osiris ends up hitting let's see. So Osiris ends up getting the pinfall for the 1, 2, 3, and we have new NXT tag team champions in the Dark State. Like I said, very predictable. Well, not predictable, but I mean, Hank and Tank's been champs for 4 months. Are they going to get called up? I think it's a possibility. We need some tag teams on Raw. I think they're really building up this faction of Dark State on NXT to be this dominant faction. So I can see them holding the belts, implementing that Freebird type style that the Wyatts do, where any two members can defend the title. I don't think it's just going to be Lennox and Osiris. Probably going to see the Freebird stuff with Dark State as well. But we do have new NXT Tag Championships, which puts me at 2-0 on the night. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'm going to have a good prediction show here. Then we see Lexus King in the back with Ava, obviously the Rock's daughter, the GM of NXT. And he's still cracking jokes about Miles Bourne being blind and deaf at the same time. Obviously, Miles Bourne is deaf, but Lexus King sprayed him in the eyes last week. And Ava tells him that she should fine him or suspend him, but what she's going to do, Miles Bourne has asked for a match Tuesday night on NXT, and Ava has granted him the match, but because of Lexus King's actions in the match, or not in the match, but in the backstage segment, it is going to be a blindfold match. So all these jokes and stuff that Lexus King keeps making, he is going to have to go one-on-one with Miles Bourne in a blindfold match Tuesday night. And then they announced that Lola Vice will face JC Jane, as I said earlier, on Saturday, September the 27th, at the NXT pay-per-view PLE called No Mercy. So that match is official for Saturday, September 27th. As far as the NXT PLEs, as far as I know as of now, unless there's a big change coming up here before No Mercy, the NXT PLEs are going to remain on Peacock. I'm kind of looking for NXT to probably the PLEs to stay over there on Peacock, and maybe perhaps we get some TNA over there or AAA. So I know a lot of people are upset that, I know for me, like I have the Peacock Premium plan, and I just got an email last week that it was going up to like $18 a month. So having to kind of weigh your options on whether you want to keep Peacock, because like I said, with this new DTC service with ESPN, does it really make sense to have all these different streaming options? But if they're going to keep NXT over there and also bring along the maybe TNA or AAA over there to Peacock, then it would be worth keeping Peacock. But that's up to you as well. Yeah, we're gonna see Lawler White with Jesse Jane at No Mercy on Saturday, September 27th. So we're going to our next matchup, which I'm so embarrassed for not knowing this, but I had no idea until tonight, because I guess I just wasn't really paying that close. I do not watch much TNA. I will be honest with you about that. Hardly ever do I watch. I just don't have the time, honestly. But I had no idea that Ash by Elegance was Dana Brooke. She looked way different. I had no idea it was Dana Brooke until tonight when I could actually watch her live. So we have the next match, like I said, is the triple threat for the TNA Knockout Women's World Championship with JC Jane defending against Ash by Elegance and Masha Slamovich. So Mike Rome goes to introduce Ash by Elegance, and the concierge of the Elegance brand comes out and interrupts Mike Rome and starts talking about the people, calling them morons and idiots, and says that he is going to be the one to introduce. And obviously, he interrupts and he introduces the Elegance brand. So we see Ash by Elegance accompanied by the rest of the Elegance brand. Next out is Masha Slamovich, which she looks like somebody you just don't want to mess with. Last week when she was that special guest referee, she had that look to her, like, yeah, she's really not somebody to mess with. Look, she definitely you can tell she's got that fighting background for sure. And next out is our TNA Women's Knockouts Women's Champion JC Jane, accompanied to the ring by Jasmine Nix and Fallon Henley, and they are Fatal Influence. So JC Jane goes for an early pinfall attempt. JC is taking, like, she dishing the punishment out to Ash, aka Dana Brooke. Couple near falls. Then we see a super kick by JC Jane. Another near fall. Now Masha and Ash are back into it, which we saw on TNA Thursday. We know that we're headed for another Masha and Ash match for probably they're probably going to do that at Bound for Glory. Are they going to put the title back on Masha? I'm not sure. It's maybe. Probably going to have to start watching a little bit more TNA so I can. Here's Joe Shipley. What's going on, Joe? What's next for Javon? That's a good question. Haven't really got to that match, but I said at the beginning of the show, like, they keep bringing up this underdog type story with the Undertaker and how the Undertaker is pushing him to go after the biggest dog in the yard. So I think the way they're going with this, obviously I haven't recapped the main event yet, but I think the way they're going with this is they're going to do a slow build to Javon Evans taking that title from Obafemi. Ultimately, I don't know how long it's going to be because I thought maybe it was happening tonight. I thought she needs to be on the main roster soon. So, Joe, for me, I think that it's just going to be a little bit longer, drawn out story because they keep talking about the Undertaker and how he's got the Undertaker stamp of approval. So I really feel like that's where we're headed. I think Javon Evans will be champion. I just think it's going to be one of those long, drawn out stories. Hopefully that answers your question for you. So this is a pretty good match. I really can't get behind the Ash by Elegance thing. Like I said, I don't watch enough TNA, but during the match, you'll see that Jasmine Nix throws a punch to Ash by Elegance. And so the referee, obviously, you got the Elegance brand out there. You got Jasmine Nix and Fallon Henley from Fatal Influence out there. And when Jasmine Nix does that punch, then obviously the referee sees it and the referee throws Fatal Influence out the ring. I predicted JC Jane to retain here. So I did lose this match. I thought that she would probably hold the title till Bound for Glory, but I guess they're ready to get the title off of her and get it on somebody from the TNA roster, which probably doesn't bode well for Trick Williams and that men's TNA title. I think that Mike Santana is going to take that title from him probably sooner than later. I would say probably Bound for Glory at the latest. I think that's where they're headed with that. But yeah, so the Fatal Influence gets kicked out of the ring. And with that, we saw, like I said, Ash goes off the top rope and takes both of them out with the moonsault. A lot of back and forth here with all three of them. JC hit some pretty phenomenal moves. She did hit the rolling encore on Masha, but the Elegance brand ended up pulling JC Jane's feet out from under the rope. Obviously, that's her finisher, and it was over. But the Elegance brand pulled her out. From that point, I was like, yeah, JC's probably not going to win this match. Ash hit the Swanton Bomb on Masha, and she got the one. Ash by Elegance gets the 1-2-3 pinfall. Stow JC Jane out and gets the pinfall victory. We have a new women's TNA Knockouts champion, and it's Ash by Elegance, aka Dana Brooks. So congratulations to her. They said that it's been a while since she's actually fought on an NXT PLE as well. I think it was like 2023, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. So we do have we have another title change back to back. Ash by Elegance is our new TNA Knockouts Women's Champion, which I got that wrong. So then they're talking about WrestlePalooza, which I talked about that earlier. WrestlePalooza is going to be the first PLE that's streamed to the ESPN DTC platform only, and that's going to be September 20th from Indianapolis, Indiana. WrestlePalooza. Gonna see John Cena possibly and Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre is where it's looking like it's going. Not official yet, but so in the back we see Javon Evans talking to Ricky Saints. Ricky's checking on Javon. Obviously, Javon went through hell last week on NXT, got thrown through the table. He ended up getting the win with the Alpha Distraction from Mike Santana. and pinning Trick Williams to get that win, but Javon took a beating last week. He said that he's checking on Javon and told him that he proved last week that he belongs here. And he said Javon tells Ricky that he's still got a big mountain to climb in Obafemi. And so, you know, then we hear it again. Ricky Saints is talking about the Undertaker said all those things about you. So progressing that storyline with the Undertaker, as I said when I was answering Joe's question, I really feel like that's where they're going with this. They're going to drag this out, in this kind of he can't beat Oba type of storyline. So then Ricky Saints tells Javon that he is going to be the next NXT champion, but he has to worry about the absolute, which is Ricky Saints. He said that when he comes through the curtains with that NXT title, that Ricky is going to be there waiting for him, and he is going to be the next one looming for that NXT championship. And Javon kind of shrugged it off a little bit and was like, well, I got to get through that curtain first. But he said, yeah, he'll be ready. So kind of teasing a either Javon versus Ricky Saints match, a No Mercy probably, or Obafemi versus Ricky Saints at No Mercy. Or it could be Halloween Havoc, but I think it's going to be No Mercy, is what it looks like. So then they talk about the NXT Halloween Havoc. It's going to be at the Prescott Valley in Prescott Valley, Arizona on Saturday. I think it's October the 25th or something like that. So a lot of stuff going on with NXT. We have No Mercy coming up, Halloween Havoc, and then they have something else also going on in September as well. Worlds Collide coming up September 12th. So a lot of stuff going on in the world of professional wrestling right now. So the next matchup was, and I got back on the winning track. I did lose. I picked Josie Jane, and she obviously did not win. So I'm 2-1. So our next matchup is a matchup for. I kind of talked about it on the NXT recap, on the prediction shows, on a Twitter space. Like Jordan Grace has got some stuff, personal stuff going on that I know she was. This was going to be a heck of a match, and it was a great match ultimately, but she has some personal stuff, and I feel like she's probably going to take a little bit of time off. So, and Blake Monroe is just really very new to NXT and WWE. I just didn't see any way possible that Blake Monroe was going to take an L. But we're gonna see Blake Monroe against Jordan Grace. This match is very personal. Blake opens the match and slaps Jordan Grace in her face, and that just pissed Jordan off like to the max. So she starts to chase Blake out the ring. Blake tries to jump over the barricade. Jordan catches her. Blake then gets away for a second, goes behind the announcers, starts trying to hide back there. So she was scared. That was funny though. So she starts. The action continued on the outside. She hits a back body drop, but then she goes to do a body slam type maneuver on Blake Monroe on the steps, and Blake Monroe grabs Jordan Grace's hair on the way down and slams her down on the steps, and that's where kind of the match took a little turn right there. And Blake was able to get back up into the match. Blake was working hard on Jordan Grace's shoulder in this matchup as well. So more action out of the ring. Booker T said that Blake Monroe is in his top 5. Um, the move I'm talking about where Grace hurt her shoulder, or didn't hurt her shoulder, but in the match, it was Blake threw her shoulder into the post, and then she applied an arm lock, submission hold on Jordan Grace. So she's trying to weaken that arm, and obviously she sold it very well in the matchup. She hits a sling blade into a pinfall, but when Jordan Grace kicks out of that, and then Jordan and Blake Monroe go back and forth. Then we see a two super hard clotheslines by Jordan Grace, but Blake Monroe kicked out of it. So Jordan is going for a move on the top rope, kind of a power bomb type move on Blake Monroe, and Blake, when she hits the move, grabs that bottom turnbuckle, the top of it, and pulls it off. So I'm like, yeah, like there's going to be something that ends up happening in this matchup that's going to help Blake with that turnbuckle being exposed, and ultimately it did. So towards the end of the match, we see Blake Monroe. Like I said, she kicked out of 2 or 3 big, huge moves. One power bomb from Jordan Grace. Blake hit some big moves on Jordan, and she kicked out of those as well. But Blake ends up throwing Jordan Grace into that empty turnbuckle on the bottom, and then hits the DDT for the 1, 2, 3, and Blake Monroe gets the victory tonight over Jordan Grace. So they said that Blake was 1 step ahead of Jordan Grace tonight. So my thoughts on this, like I said, Jordan's either her boyfriend or her husband going through some stuff. So like I said, I think she's going to take some time away. She was speculated to be going up to the main roster to SmackDown. So I don't think that we're gonna see Jordan Grace like she may come back, I guess, and have a match with Blake possibly. But I think we're gonna see Jordan Grace on that main roster soon. So I just hope everything's okay with everything she has going on in her personal life, and she gets back soon. I don't even know if she's going to be gone, but if she is, I think she will though. I think she's gonna take a little bit of time off. They're probably gonna play up that shoulder injury and have a way that'd be the way to write her off for a little while. So after that, we see the commercial for Survivor Series that is going to be in the San Diego Padres home field at Petco Park in San Diego, California. That is going to be coming up in November. So we see after that, we see medical in the back with Jada Parker, and she's talking about how lucky Lola Vice is, and she pinned her with the roll up. And she said that she just wasn't happy about that. So here in comes Lash Legend, which I thought she was going to get involved in the match. She didn't, but they ended up having a backstage segment. Lash said, she's the one that needs to be she's the top dog. She needs to be the one that's up next for that NXT Women's Championship. And Jada Parker said, what makes you think you're number one? Like you should be the number one contender. You were talking all this stuff about Nia Jax, but you were squashed the week before on NXT, which that was a really good match between Nia and Lash. But Nia did beat her. So then they start to arguing back and forth, and obviously they are broken up by security. So look for a matchup coming soon with Jada Parker and Lash Legend for sure. So then we see JC Jane Sarah Schreiber is trying to get an interview with JC Jane. JC Jane is holding her stomach and visibly upset, obviously. Start pinning the blame off on Jasmine Nix and Fallon Henley for losing that title. And then we see Sol Ruka and Zaria. Oh, no, we see Lola Vice show up first and saying that she is going to take that she thinks her night's bad tonight, but she's going to make it worse at NXT No Mercy in September. She is going to take that title off of JC Jane. Then here comes Sol Ruka and Zarya, and she said that they even made fun of JC, and they said that Sol Ruka said she's now the only two belt champion in NXT now because she is the NXT North American Women's Champion and obviously the WWE Speed Champion. So yeah, that was interesting right there. So then they talked about NXT Homecoming is going to be on Tuesday, September the 16th. So I look forward to that. They did announce later on that we will see Tuesday night as well, that we're going to see a 6-person tag. We're going to see Sol Ruka and Zarya and Lola Vice going up against Fatal Influence Tuesday night with JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Jasmine Nix. That is on the card for NXT Tuesday night, along with Miles Bourne against what was I saying? Yeah, so Miles Bourne is going to be going up against God. What's the guy's name? I don't know what that guy's name is. No. Yeah. Just 1 second. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Yeah, so Miles Bourne going to be going up against Alexis King on Tuesday night as well in a blindfold match. And WWE did make official that after NXT Heatwave went off the air, it's on their page. We're going to see Blake Monroe and Kalani Jordan as well Tuesday night. So looking forward to that. It's going to be some good matches coming up Tuesday. So our next matchup is going to be, they do a little vignette, obviously, on a commercial with Chelsea and Ethan Page and talking about how they wanted a peace treaty and everything that, surrounding this matchup. So we see Chelsea Green and the All Ego Ethan Page, accompanied by Piper Niven and Alba Fire. I love the way they were dressed. They had like all the Canada stuff on. I love this. And against Tavion and Tyra May Steele, the season 1 LFG winner, her first NXT Premium Live event. So I'm sure she had a little bit of nerves. Yeah. So I love this match. It was a good match. So like I said, we saw Tyra May and Tavion in the USA colors, and then we saw Chelsea and All Ego, the NXT North American champion, in Canadian colors. So definitely good stuff there. So Ethan also came out with the Canadian flag. He was throwing around the Canadian flag. Like I said, it was good stuff. So Chelsea and Tyra May Steele start the match off, and Tyra May Steele ends up throwing her, and she throws her into Ethan Page, and they go over the top rope. And then I start talking about this being Steele's first NXT PLE, which it is. So then we see Ethan and Tavion in. Ethan's taking it to Tavion. He is taunting him. He said, "This is the best that you Americans got." So I love Ethan Page. Great character. He's gonna do phenomenal work on the main roster. This match was really good. Ultimately, towards the end of the match, during the match, we saw Tyra May still hit a back body drop on Ethan Page. So you can tell she's got a lot of strength in this match. Ultimately, we see at the end of the match, we see Alba Fire get involved, and she hits a super kick on Tyra May Steele. And then Chelsea Green hits the unprettier for the 1, 2, 3 on Tyra May Steele. And your winners are Chelsea Green and Ethan Page. So, yeah, I picked them to win. I thought this could go either way. I still think that they're with Chelsea pinning Tyra, they still can do Tavion Heights and Ethan Page maybe at No Mercy. I don't think this match hurts Tavion or Tyra May at all. I think it helps them, if anything. They kind of get that rub and that push from Chelsea, especially Tyra May. So that is the winners, Chelsea and Ethan. So the next up, they advertised Raw. It's going to be kicking off at 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow from the Birmingham, UK. And obviously Roman Reigns is going to be kicking off the show. So, yeah, tune into that 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow on Netflix. We talk about Worlds Collide on September the 12th. And then in the back, we see Obafemi doing his little thing, working out, getting ready. And we see Josh Briggs. And he comes up to Oba and he tells Oba that he feels like his reign is going to end tonight. He tells him the grind of being NXT champion is wearing him down. Briggs said that he will be keeping both eyes on this main event tonight because he wants to be next in line. So Oba not only has to possibly be worried about Ricky Saints, but he still seems to have unfinished business with Josh Briggs after what Josh Briggs did to Yoshiki Inamura in the Philadelphia Street Fight Tuesday night. She absolutely destroyed him. So before we get to the main event, we see Sarah Shava with Ava in the back, and she announces that the women's and men's speed WWE titles will be coming to NXT. So they're going to be officially on the NXT brand. And she brings in the women's speed champion Sol Ruka, and she said she's got to bring Zarya because wherever she goes, Zarya is there. So there's a little funny angle there. So it seems like on September the 2nd, they're going to do a tournament, one from Raw, one from SmackDown, one from TNA, and one from AAA. And the winner of that tournament will face Sol Ruka at No Mercy for the NXT Women's Speed title, which I don't know. I feel like that's probably a good idea that they do move those titles over there because they don't get exposed on the main roster. We don't ever see them unless somebody's like doing a backstage. I couldn't even tell you who the men's speed champion is. So I think moving them to NXT, they get that TV time, they get the exposure. We're going to see a speed championship match at No Mercy in September. So it's going to get the exposure for the speed championship. So it's definitely a good idea. Sol is happy about it. She said she can't wait. And her and Zarya walk out. So then that's what I said. They made the match official for NXT Tuesday. So Ruka, Zarya, and Lola Vice against JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Jasmine Nix, Fatal Influence. And then the blindfold match with Alexis King and Miles Bourne, and Ren Sinclair and a mystery opponent going up against Izzy Dane and Tatum Paxley of the Cullen. And on top of that, we're going to see Blake Monroe versus Kalani Jordan Tuesday. So stack card for this coming up Tuesday night on the CW for me. I don't know where you guys watch it, but I watch it on CW. So looking forward to NXT coming up. So we get to the main event, and it is for the NXT Men's Championship. And there's Javon Evans going up against Obafemi, and there is a 116-pound difference between the two. Obviously, Oba is dominating early. They keep talking about how banged up Javon is from last week. Oba is dominating the match for the most part from the beginning. A lot of chops. He even hits him with the power bomb, but Javon kicks out. Every time Javon hit a move in this match, like when he hit that frog splash, like he just come up a little short and was like holding his stomach. But for me, like I said, this probably was the best match of the night. It went for a pretty good while. They did say that Oba is chasing the longest. He has the longest reign with the NXT Men's Championship since Braun Breaker, and that was 361 days by Braun Breaker. So, like I said, a lot of back and forth action here. Javon ends up hitting that frog splash. I think that was a one time where it was about 2.5 that Oba kicked out. Javon was definitely holding his own, but Oba's just so powerful. But for the ending of this matchup, we see Javon hit that cutter on Obafemi, and then he bounces, goes up top, hits another cutter. But right before that, Oba pushes. Javon's going for a move off the top on Oba, and Oba pushes him off the rope, and he goes down, but he goes into the referee. The referee goes to the outside briefly, and then Javon hits that cutter, and then he hits it again off the top rope. And you can see Javon Oba's body scoot really close over to the edge on like almost on his right leg is like right up under the bottom rope. And you can see a new referee run in really fast, and he counts 1, 2, 3, and we think that we got a new NXT Heavyweight Champion, but the referee has come back to life, and he tells the referee that come in when the referee that was starting the match was injured, that Oba's foot was up under the rope. That's what I said. I love this match, about 4.5, 4.75, but I hated that they did it like this. But that's why I think that I was telling Joe earlier, they're gonna probably go back to this Oba Javon before it's over with, and Javon take that title. So obviously, when that happens, it turns the tide. The craziest part of the match is we see Obafemi just take Javon like launching him like a dart over the top rope, and Javon goes back through that table again. Javon just can't stay not going through that table. And then obviously Oba brings him back through the ropes after he throws him to the announce table, and he hits him with the fall from grace for the 1, 2, 3, and Obafemi retains the NXT Heavyweight Championship. So I think for me, I love the Chelsea Greens match. It was comical. It didn't go very long. For me, it could have went a little bit longer. But this match and the triple threat at the beginning were the best two matches, like wrestling wise, on the card. But I just didn't like the way this one ended. But I think they're setting it up for that Javon babyface underdog story. The Undertaker is going to push him to get back on the grind and get back on his feet and get back towards chasing that big dog in the yard. I mean, he did pin him, but obviously Oba's foot was under the rope, so it didn't count. So before the program goes off the air, we hear Ricky Saints music. And he comes out, kind of steps alongside Javon Evans, and he gets in the ring, and he tells Obafemi that he is next, and you can read their lips. And Oba tells Ricky that he's not going to do anything, that he's just another guy. So that is how NXT Heatwave went off the air. Solid show. I thought it was going to go a lot longer than it did, but very, very good show. From top to bottom, every match was good. We had a couple of title changes. Dark State, new tag champions. Ash by Elegance, the new TNA Women's Knockout champion. Obafemi did retain. Sorry about that. His NXT championship. He's been champion for 236 or 256 days, something like that. So long reign for Oba. Looks like we're headed for Oba Ricky Saints. They'll probably play it up more on Tuesday on NXT. But that's the way it's looking. We're looking like we're going to have Oba and Ricky Saints at the September PLE. So NXT is shaping up to be a good show Tuesday. You definitely don't want to miss that. So that's pretty much it for me. I do want to thank everybody that has watched tonight live on my Facebook and from my YouTube channel and also from X. And obviously for the comments from Billy and Joe. That's the comments that I can see for right now. But thank you guys. I'm going to leave you guys with my outro and my thank you for you guys tuning in. And I will be back to announce what I have coming up. And it is a lot. So definitely stay tuned for that. That being said, I'm going to go to it.
CJP's your guy, let's start the show. Tag teams breaking, factions shaking. He's got the scoop for moves they're faking. Belt on the line, dreams on display. The EVP show keeps the drama in play. It's good. Let's go where the heroes rise and the legends grow. CJP brings the shots, you know. The EVP show, it's out of control.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed. I kind of cut the outro off before that last let's go, but I hope you guys enjoyed the stream tonight. NXT Heatwave Recap. It was a really good show. I enjoyed it. So obviously you can follow me. You can find me on my socials at the bottom of the screen on X at EVPCJP, at Instagram at EVPCJP as well. And most importantly, on YouTube at the EVP show. If you guys can hit that like on the video tonight and put some comments in there and tell me what you thought of the show when you go back and watch this recap if you was not on. That helps put my channel and my recaps and shows in the algorithm, and it's much appreciated. You can also find me on TikTok at Brady DA Goat 21. So what's coming up is a lot. Obviously, this is a big week for WWE as well. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, obviously, is Monday Night Raw from Birmingham, UK. You're going to see Roman Reigns kicking off the show. It looks like we're going to see Braun Breaker versus LA Knight. Kofi Kingston going up against Penta. Dragon Lee is in a match. I can't remember who he's facing. I had to go back and look. And Nikki Bella is going to be on the show as she calls out Becky Lynch. Could that match be happening at Clash in Paris? Because we still need another match or two for that card. So we'll see what happens. And what's going to happen with the Raw Women's Championship? I think that needs. Oh, you're going to see. I can't believe I forgot. You're going to see Rhea Ripley tomorrow going one-on-one versus Roxanne Perez. So that should be a banger. Will that match have some title implications for Clash in Paris? We will see. I think WWE may do that, or they may go the safe route and put Io in the match with Stephanie. I don't know what they're going to do, But there's a reason why Roxanne and Rhea are fighting tomorrow. So it could be whoever wins that match faces Stephanie at Clash in Paris for the Raw Women's Championship. I think that's probably where they're leaning because there's rumors of Liv Morgan coming back in the fall. So we'll see how that goes. But tune in to Raw for sure, 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Where you're going to find me is tomorrow. I am going to be doing you're going to get a double header here on the EVP show with Raw going off at about 5:30 p.m. or close to 6 p.m. Eastern. I will be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern to do my Raw recap from the show, right? The Go Home Raw right before Clash in Paris. And then I will be back again tomorrow night, about an hour after my Raw recap, because LFG came on tonight. Obviously, I usually do my LFG recaps tonight. I will be back at 11 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, an hour after my Raw recap. So it's going to be back-to-back shows here for the EVP. On the EVP show, I will be recapping the LFG show that went on tonight. I'm going to watch it later on, and I'm going to go ahead and recap that for you guys tomorrow. So doubleheader here tomorrow on the EVP show, 9 p.m. Eastern for the Monday Night Raw recap, and 11 p.m. Eastern for the WWE LFG Season 2 recap tomorrow. I'll be back Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the NXT recap as always. Don't really have much more information for this week, but I know we'll have a prediction show for Clash in Paris. It'll either be Wednesday or Thursday. I'm unsure of the date. And then obviously SmackDown recap will be back on Friday. And then I will be back Sunday after Clash in Paris for a Clash in Paris recap. With that being said, thank you guys so much for showing up tonight. And I will see you guys back tomorrow for a double header at 9 p.m. Eastern. Starting at 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, I will be back for the WWE Raw recap, followed by 11 p.m. Eastern, the LFG Season 2 recap. So you're getting a double hitter tomorrow on the EVP show. So that's it for me tonight. Love one another. I'm the EVP from the EVP show. I hope you guys have a good night. See you tomorrow.